Hey guys, it's Liv here, and in today's video, we're going to be using Gothitelle and Azumarill Perish Trap on the VGC Battle Spot ladder to see if we can try and make any sort of bulky archetype work, or if this meta might just be a bit too offensive for it. If you guys enjoy the content and you want to see more like it, leave a like and subscribe for more, and the link to the team if you guys want to try it yourselves will be down below in both a poker paste and a rental code format. With that said, comment what you want to see next. This is like the last team of my set that I have, besides an alternate version of this, which I'll be doing next week. So obviously, any ideas will be appreciated, and let's get right into it. First up, of course, we do have Clear Amulet Azumarill with the Perish Song Protect Player Off in Aqua Jet. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I know for a fact, at the very least, that with this particular set, Clutch was going through a few different options, such as potentially Citrus Berry on the Azu, which is why I'm sure that the 244 is here. There were a few different Azu builds, so my guess is this was something in regards to that. I'm not entirely sure what the Fizz Def investment then goes into, or the attack investment specifically hits, but I know at the very least that this was meant to be an even HP Azu, which in general is typically, again, appreciated on Citrus sets, which is why 244. With Protect and Perish Song, this is really useful for stalling through Perish Song turns, with Player Off and Aqua Jet just being primary stop options. Clear Amulet's designed to try and allow Azu to still be a good offensive piece, to be fair, since this does still have huge power, and with Terrestrial Fairy, this is still an offensive nightmare. Just, you typically don't exactly need to worry about being set up with this either. So the Clear Amulet's really just to try and wall break while fishing through Perish Trap turns until you've cleared through so much of the team that your opponent can't fight back. Up next, we have Hydreigon with the Life Orb with Levitate. We have Terrestrial Steel, which I will say this is an error actually. Basically, this version of the team was like a midway point, to say the least, and I didn't catch this until the third game. But this is Terrestrial Steel with Flamethrower, Dark Pulse, and Draco as the offensive attacks, when it should be Flash Cannon, or with Flamethrower being, the Terra types being switched from Steel to Fire. If you're trying this version on your own, while the rental code will not have it, the Poker Paste version will, so feel free to obviously try that on your own. I'm going to switch it to the Terrestrial Fire set with Flamethrower because that's what the updated version has. Again, I already got the rental code scheduled though, and the vid should already be up by the time, and I don't have time to change the Terra type over. So for anyone in-game, you'll just kind of have to live with the error. I'm very sorry about that. But again, if you want to try it on your own, it'll be fixed for the Poker Paste version. But this is just standard Hydreigon otherwise. It's just Life Orb Hydreigon meant to be an offensive monster. Up next, we have Murkrow with the Violet, because it's a very unique item on this. Again, we basically, the 248, this is one of those things where the team was initially made at level 100. So again, 248, it should probably be 252. Again, this will be fixed for the Poker Paste version, but this is the version that I used, and I didn't want to mislead the information, I guess, on the rental. But basically, though, it's just standard Murkrow with Taunt and Haze being very valuable statuses, with Tailwind, of course, being a really good speed boosting option. Taunt is here to try and just stop opposing setup options or opposing status mons, and Haze is amazing, especially for potential Dondozo Giri. Now, I will say we do have Skeletors in this team as well, which does help a lot with that matchup, but in case if we don't have Skeletors, depending on the four that we bring to a game, Murkrow is a nice option as well for clearing status in that. It's also really good for stuff like Armourouge matchups, so we'll definitely take that. Up next, we have Breloom with Spore, Rock Tomb, Mach Punch, and Bullet Seed. Breloom's really decent, if nothing else, for offensive waters, or just waters in general, especially with stuff like Azu or Terrestrial Water Volcarona. We do have our Focus Sash, of course, which is just amazing for keeping Breloom alive to get the spores off. Mach Punch is a great priority. Rock Tomb is great for dropping speed, as well as for opposing fire types, which otherwise we don't touch that well. And with Terrestrial's Grass, the Bullet Seed that this thing is going to go for will be doing amazing damage. Up next, we have Skeletors with the Unaware ability. We have Torch Song, Shadow Ball, Protect, and Slack Off with Terrestrial Grass. Just designed to be a really good defensive option on here. It's just standard Terrestrial Grass Skeletors, meant to just sponge a lot of hits from stuff like Rotom, for example, and also still being immune to attacks like Spore from the Amoonguss, and in general, just being a really good Fizz Def wall that's going to take hits like Earthquake a lot better. Overall, Torch Song is an amazingly spammable option. Shadow Ball is really hard to switch into offensively. Slack Off's great for recovery, and Protect is great for stalling through turns, especially if we do go for the potential Perish Song, I guess. We could go into Skeletors hard from Azu, and then go for Protect spam with this instead of Azu potentially to try and wear down opponents. Final mon of the team we have, of course, is Gothitelle. We have Covert Cloak on here. This is specifically designed to try and avoid fake out from my opponent. We have the Calm Nature, which is just helping us boost our attacks, boost our set more Spadef wise. We have 252 HP and 4 Fizz Def with the 236 Spadef, really just meant to be a good wall. 12 speed, I'm not entirely sure what the speed is for. I think it's probably just for some sort of 65 base mon, just over creeping that outside of Trick Room. We have Imprison with Trick Room, which is designed to try and help around potential other Trick Room setters in the tier. We've seen a lot of Trick Room this meta, whether it's from Pokemon like Mimikyu, Meowscarada, you name it. there's a lot of different Trick Room options, the point being. So Imprison with Trick Room has helped to try and guarantee speed advantage or set our own Trick Room either way, so we're always in the favorable position here. We have Helping Hand to try and boost damage for mons like Hydreigon, Azu, Skeledirge, and Foul Play is just great for physical attackers. So with that said, that's our team. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and we'll see you guys in the battle. Peace out, guys. Hey guys, it's Liv here. In today's video, we're going to be taking on the VGC ladder with the Perish Trap Azu team. If you guys enjoy the content and you want to see more like it, of course, leave a like below and subscribe. And with that said, let's get right into it. So my opponent's team consists of Indeedee, Female, Armarouge, Abomasnow, Glaceon, Mudsdale, and Slowking. So this is a fairly interesting team comp. My guess is their goal is to try and set up Auroraville with this team. Maybe they thought this was Radical Red and they get Slush Rush Sylveon, which is sadly not the case. We're going to be rocking out with Farigiraf though. I think that ultimately, not Farigiraf, with the Gothitelle version of this team, which I do have a Farigiraf version of this team. I'll probably bring that at some point next week. As far as my lead goes, I think I'm definitely leading off with the Hydra. I think I'm going to throw on, I want to throw on Skelly as well. And I'm going to bring Azu in the back. And I think, well, no, I'm not going to bring Azu. I think I'm going to bring Breloom in the back, though. And I think I'm going to bring Goth as last mon. I think Goth could be pretty decent, if nothing else. Actually, no, I'm going to withdraw. I'm going to bring Murkrow in the back. Solely just because I think that Murkrow could be decent, if nothing else, in terms of just late game as a support piece. I can maybe go for stuff like Hail and Haze, especially if it's a Calm Mind Glaceon. Or maybe if it's a weakness policy on the armor. Well, no, I couldn't have Terrains up, to be fair. But if Terrain doesn't end up going up, I could actually use this as a potential Hazemon. I think more importantly, though, I could mostly use it as a Brave Bird option. They're actually going to proceed to lead off with Hail Core here, which is perfectly fine. By Hail Core, I mean with the Snow Warning as well as potential Chilly Reception, which they probably let off with, I guess, in case of opposing weather. Regardless, though, I'm going to proceed to go for the Flamethrower into the Abomasnow spot, and I'm going to go for a Torch Song into the Abomasnow spot. I'm not going to pop Terrastal just yet, because Breloom might actually make a decent Terrastal option, especially considering Slowking's here, and making sure that I'm not any more weak to Psychic options could be pretty decent. They're going to proceed to go for Protect, which, it's a little annoying. It's only because of the fact that Slowking now probably gets a free attack off on me, but it's not really a game changer, to be fair. So we're going to end up getting dual protected on. Unfortunate, but they might actually go for Trick Room here. I feel like Trick Room's kind of obvious. Yep, okay, so they do go for Trick Room. Understandable. So let's see. So this is Trick Room, and a Abomasnow has Protect. Good to know. I could totally see Slowking switching out hard right here. Meanwhile, they'll probably end up going for the Auroraville on the Glaceon. I'm going to go for Flamethrower into the Abomasnow spot, and I'm going to go for Torch Song into the Abomasnow spot as well. Just that way then I can try and get off as much damage as possible. I could have, to be fair, went for the Flash Cannon, which I guess that's actually probably a little bit smarter of an idea, but I think that Flamethrower should still be fine. I don't really think that either is a bad click here, to be honest. My opponent is definitely, though, going to go for Auroraville, and just taking out the setter later on should be decent, if nothing else. They're going to go for Pump into the Skeledirge. Does not actually take us out, which is good to note. The Skeledirge somehow also takes the Blizzard, which is also really appreciated. So Abomasnow should be cleared before any sort of Auroraville gets up, which is really amazing for us. It is Focus Sash, which is good to note. Okay. And we also do know for a fact that the Slowking has Hydro Pump. So that's good information if nothing else. I could probably just click Protect on the Skeledirge. Meanwhile, I could probably go for a Dark Pulse on Hydreigon into the Slowking, and I think that could be pretty decent. Just get up some recovery back from leftovers, burn through another turn of Trick Room, all of which would be very valuable in my opinion. Considering the fact that they don't look like they've brought Terrain, they have Mud still in the back as Mon number 3. Okay, then I think I'm going to dual protect here, actually. I think that dual protecting is probably in my best interest. Just, again, stall through another turn of Trick Room. Because I'm going to anticipate that the Mudstill is going to go for some sort of, like, an Iron Defense or, like, a Curse or something. I don't think it actually gets Iron Defense. But regardless, they're probably going to... So they're not going to Terrastal at the very least, which is interesting. I was thinking they might Terrastal fighting here. But they're probably going to pop Terrastal on Glaceon then, in that case. Because, again, I can't imagine they don't go for Glaceon at some point. They're going to have Flamethrower on this as well. And they have Rock Slide on Mudstill. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay. So at this point, I think what I'm going to end up doing... I think I'm going to proceed to go for the... I think I'm gonna let these two go down actually, because I'm pretty sure I could take the hit from the next incoming Pokemon. Let me really quickly double check how much turns to trick him up. 2 more turns to trick him. Okay. So basically what I would need to do here, actually I think I can make that work. We're gonna go for the Draco into the Mudstill spot. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go for a Torch Song into the Mudstill spot. I'm just gonna kind of hope I can dodge a Rock Slide. If I can dodge a Rock Slide on Skeletors, I think I can actually just potentially take this out. We're gonna dodge it on Hydreigon. I'll still take this in all honesty, and this might actually work out for the best. Because if Indeedee is not on the field, this actually means I can get the guaranteed taunt off beforehand on Slowking. Oh, they're gonna dodge the Draco too. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna bring in Murkrow here, and I'm gonna get the taunt off on Slowking. I think it'll be in my best interest. I can stop another Chicken from going up at the very least, which is pretty valuable. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go for Protect on Hydreigon to gain the speed advantage back. If my opponent ends up taking out Murkrow here, so be it. I don't mind a ton. If Slowking ends up being Mental Herb, that's a little annoying to be fair, especially if Murkrow goes. But if they're Mental Herb, I don't know if they'll really take us out here, to be fair. But basically, my goal here is to let Hydreigon gain the speed advantage back next turn, and then I'm going to proceed to go for, I'm probably just going to go for a Draco into Brave Bird on Slowking, well, Draco on Mudstill. Oh shit, it's Oblivious. I forgot Oblivious, like, ignores taunt. It's a little annoying, actually, I can't lie. Okay. So, as far as this turn goes, I think I need to dual target the Slowking then. Because realistically, I think otherwise I'm going to end up getting screwed over by Trick Room. So, I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse here into the Slowking spot, and I'm going to go for a Brave Bird into the Slowking spot. If my opponent goes for Rock Slide, that's fine. I should still be good as long as no Indeedee. I think Indeedee coming would be the only actual downside, and it's only if Hydreigon actually dies to this hit, which should be fair. I think between Life Orb and Rock Slide, it probably will die. But trading the Slowking for this will be valuable. They're actually going to die outright, which that's actually a little annoying, I can't lie. Solely because now I'm going to boost the defense on Mudstill. So it's only annoying there, to be fair. Mudstill takes out Hydreigon, because otherwise I just Draco Meteor next turn. Though I guess if Murkrow dodges, like, I'm also still fine because I could just haze it. But if they're actually in close combat, okay. So this is still actually fine for me. Because what I can proceed to do, I can go for the, well, actually, okay, so they're neutral again. So I have no reason to haze, to be fair. But we're gonna bring in Breloom regardless, and I'm gonna go for the Bullet Seed on Mudstill. And then as far as the other one goes, what's the other Mon here? Other Mon might be a little annoying, I can't lie, especially whether it's Glaceon, Armourouge, or Indeedee. All three could actually be terrifying. They're going to proceed to bring in Glaceon. Okay, this is fine. I think of the three, to be fair, Glaceon is probably the best case. However, this probably means that I need to go for a Spore into, I feel like I need the Spore into Glaceon. No, I'm gonna just go for Bullet Seed, in all honesty, into the Mudstill. I think I could take it out. I think I could definitely manage to take it out here. And then I'm going to proceed to I'm going to proceed to go for, I think I'm going to go for Brave Bird into Glaceon. I want to make sure that I can try and take that out, hopefully, just get some damage on that. They're probably going to be, I'm going to assume they're probably going to end up being like a Terrastal Fire or something, which that's still not a huge deal. I can go for Rock Tomb on this. They're actually going to be Terrastal Water, so they're making themselves even weaker to Breloom, actually, which is pretty good for me. I can't lie, that's actually really good for me. So we're going to Bullet Seed the Mudstill. I think we could still manage to take this out, even despite the stamina boost. This should die to 2, at worst 3 hits. Okay, Mudstill's gone. Perfect. So we'll still have the Sash intact. Basically, this would have to be Ice Shard Glaceon to have any actual threat to our team. And specifically, would also need to break my Sash on Breloom this turn. So we're going to get the Brave Bird off. Meanwhile, my opponent's going to go for Blizzard. Okay. So the question is this Ice Shard Glaceon? If it's Ice Shard, I think my opponent wins. If they're not Ice Shard, I think that I win. But that's literally what it's going to come down to here, I guess, is if they're Ice Shard Glaceon or not. So I'm going to proceed to go for Bullet Seed here. Bullet Seed should definitely take it out if it's not Ice Shard. They're going to go for Detect here. Okay, this is fine. I'm curious why Detect, or like why they clicked Detect specifically. Maybe just revealing that they had it, I guess. But them clicking Detect doesn't really change anything. They don't have enough time in the battle to actually timer stall me. It really only matters specifically if they had Ice Shard. So Bullet Seed's gonna go off. Truthfully, I think if they didn't Terrastal, they would actually have had a better chance at winning. And I mostly say that because if my opponent didn't Terrastal, I need to most likely click Mach Punch there, which I don't think KO'd back. To be fair, Mach Punch is still Technician boosted. It would have hit for like base 90, so it would have been like a 180 hit. So that might have actually probably taken it out, to be fair. Regardless, my opponent wasn't in a great position there. But good game regardless. With that said, let's get right into game 2. Moving into game 2, we're taking on Dragonite, Grimmsnarl, Volcarona, Dragapult, Dondozo, and Tatsugiri, Pink. I'm writing down the color scheme just because I know they do different things as far as the stat boosts go. Though I guess writing down the color scheme is kind of lost on me because I don't actually remember what they do. This definitely is looking like it's going to be a... Well, this is pretty interesting, actually. I think I have 2 different leads here, and they're both for very different cores. One, my opponent could lead off with Grim, probably Grim Tatsugiri, and then Parting Shot into Dondozo there. Which in that case, I think my best lead would be something like a Gothitelle plus an Azumarill. Which I think actually does pretty good. It's at least not a downside for any matchups. I think there's specific matchups where I might have a slightly better lead, but I don't think this lead ever actually has a negative actual benefit. So I think I'm going to lead off with this. I'm going to proceed to bring in Skeledirge in the back, I think for sure is my best option there. I could also go with Murkrow Hydreigon actually, which would have a lot of merit. I think I'm actually going to do that because Murkrow Hydreigon would get around. It's just a nice safety net versus pretty much any sort of Dondozo really, because I just go for Haze and that gets around Dondozo entirely. So I think I'm actually going to do that. Yeah, I think that's my best play. They're going to proceed to probably, as I said, it's probably going to end up being a Grimmsnarl Tatsugiri lead, or maybe like a Grimmsnarl Dragonite or Volcarona lead. But Grim, I think, is definitely one of the mons that leads off here. They're going to lead off with Grim Volcarona, actually. Interesting. So from here, I'm kind of anticipating that my opponent's going to go for some sort of Fake Out plus Rage Powder or something. What I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to go for a Trick Room here. I'm actually going to go for, I kind of want a Terrastal here. I can't lie, I feel like Terrastal would be not terrible. Well, yeah, solely to avoid Taunt, I think could be a nice benefit here. I think for now, I'm going to end up going for Trick Room. Meanwhile, I'm going to go for the Perish Song on Azu. I don't think I actually need to care too much about my opponent going for Taunt on Grimmsnarl, to be fair. They're actually going to burn their Terrastal very early on anyway. They're probably going for Terra Water Volk. And yeah, Terra Water Volk. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind Terra Water Volk because that means we're stalling through the Terrastal option with Perish Song. So I'll certainly take this. My Azu should wall this to All Hell and back. They're going to Fake Out into Goth. So be it. They're going to Giga Drain the Azu. Again, so be it. From here, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to just protect on Azu, and I'm going to go for the Trick Room on Gothitelle. Oh, right, because I have Covert Cloak, so Fake Out doesn't actually matter. Okay, so I think I'm definitely going to go for the Protect here on... I'm going to definitely go for Protect on Azu. I want to keep that thing healthy for a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Grim probably will just go for Parting Shot. As far as this goes, I could go for Imprison, just solely, I guess. Well, no, that wouldn't really matter because even if they click Foul Play, it's not doing anything. I think I'm going to Foul Play into the Grim spot solely in case my opponent actually does go for Parting Shot here. It could be decent. Meanwhile, I'm definitely going to Protect on Azu because I think that Azu still going for Protect and preserving itself a bit longer is in my best interest. What's my opponent going to do? They're probably going to go for... They're going to go for Assurance. That does a lot of damage. Holy shit. Maybe this is an offense... Nope. Okay. Never mind. I forgot. This is a 4 times resist anyway. That wouldn't make a difference. Okay. So, we're going to end up bringing Perish Trap down to 2. This is fine. I'm going to go for... I think I'm going to go for... I don't know what I actually want to do here. So I think what I could probably do, I'm going to go for Helping Hand on Azumarill. And I'm going to go for the Play Rough into the Volcarona. I think it's my best play because I could try and take out Volcarona this way before it Giga Drains me again. And if nothing else, I'm still at least claiming the KO here. Which, killing their Terrastalmon here is really good for me. We've confirmed Grimmsnarl with Foul Play and Fake Out. Well, no, it's Assurance, my bad. I had Foul Play. So basically at this point, they do have to trade their Grim or they need to Hard Switch out this turn immediately, which is good information for myself if nothing else. I think I'm fine letting Azu go down to Scout for this, in my opinion. But I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. For now, I'm bringing in Hydreigon, and I'm going to click Protect. I want to scout what my opponent does because this will actually probably determine the Terrestrial Pokemon later on. Oh, actually, no, I think I'm always Terrestrialing this. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to go for the Protect here. Just no real reason to risk anything else. And I think I'm going to go for another Protect on Azu. If they're going to go for some sort of Parting Shot here, that's fine. Because they might go for Parting Shot, to be fair, to try and, or Spirit Break on Grim. And just not letting Grim get any satisfaction. I'm fine letting Azu go down in exchange for this. Even if they do have Tatsugiri in the back, I can just go for Haze and Murkrow pretty freely. And I think that's still in my best interest. But just basically, I need to try and force the Grim to sack. They're going to proceed to go for a hard switch out. That's fine. Again, making sure I don't take any unnecessary damage is probably for my best, just for the best in general. They're going to proceed to go into Dondozo here, which should be fine, actually. I can probably just, well, it depends. So, Dondozo has a few options I can go for, to be fair. They did not burn Terrastal on this. Oh, no, they can't burn Terrastal, right. So, they probably have Wave Crash, and I think it's probably my best play to just go for the, Haze into Draco. And not go for Terrastal here. They're probably gonna have a Wave Crash, Earthquake, Order Up, and well, no, because Order Up would be a Dragon Attack. So this is a little bit interesting. I think that I do need to then go for the Terrastal here, just solely so that I don't let Dondozo go for Order Up because that would be pretty bad for me. Now, thankfully, this Mon is completely trapped in, which is really good for us actually. Let's see. So, as far as the field positioning goes, yeah, we're going to go for Draco here. And I'm going to go for it into the Dondozo. And I'm going to go for the Haze on the field just to clear Dondozo's stat boost. We're going to get our Terrastal off just solely to take away any benefit that Dondozo has here. It should do significantly less damage to Hydra. It should have significantly less defenses. And I don't even need to worry about clicking Haze again, actually, because I'll have the advantage with Dondozo having Unaware, which is a pretty decent thing for me, if nothing else. So making sure that we can just take care of this Mon without having to really worry is pretty big for us, in my opinion. They're going to go for Wave Crash here, so be it. Again, I couldn't really risk Dondozo potentially having Order Up, which would have outright OHKO'd me. So I'm fine with making this exchange personally, and I can go for a I can go for a Protect in general on this, just to try and preserve it versus Tatsugiri. So I think I'm fine with this. So let's see. So Twisted Dimensions return to normal. Perfect. Okay. We're gonna probably see Grimmsnarl come back in, which is fine. I don't mind Grim coming in actually, and I think what I'm gonna proceed to do, I'm gonna go for the Protect on Hydreigon because I do need this around, to be fair. And I'm gonna go for a Brave Bird into the Grimmsnarl spot because I just want damage off on this, truthfully. I think taking out Grim is probably my best case scenario of actually winning this game. Now, to be fair, if Grim is Spirit Break, that's pretty bad for me. However, if they don't have Spirit Break, then I think I'm actually in a pretty good position here. They're definitely going to go for Fake Out, and then they're probably going to go for some sort of Muddy Water on Tatsugiri. They're going to go for Icy Wind, actually, which is fine. I don't mind my Speed Drop on Murkrow. I'd only have minded on Hydreigon. But now I can proceed to go for Draco into the Tatsugiri spot, and even at -2, I'm actually pretty okay with this. Because what I'll actually end up doing, I'm going to go for the Haze on Murkrow. This should allow myself to guarantee kill Tatsugiri here. If my opponent ends up being Endure on this turn, then that probably actually seals it. They're going to go for Sucker Punch. Ooh, okay. Then I don't think I ever had this, actually. I think Sucker Punch always won. Because Tatsugiri could probably just click Draco at this point, to be fair. And I think that ends the game. Very unfortunate, actually. Because I think if I tried to gun the dual Protect there, I think I won. But to be fair, that isn't really guaranteed. They're going to go for Draco. Draco probably would have KO'd, to be fair, against Murkrow anyway. Not Murkrow, Hydreigon at that point. Because Hydreigon had basically no health anyway. So I don't know if that really mattered a ton. It's solely, and even still Hydreigon still had to worry about getting Sucker Punched by this. So, good game regardless though to my opponent. I know I mentioned the fucking dual Protect, but it didn't really matter other than just trying to stall through Sucker Punch on Grim, to be fair. So I guess it probably in hindsight wasn't really a great play. Regardless though, we're 1-1 for the day. Let's hope that we can possibly get a win in our third game. With that said, I'll see you guys in game number 3. And for the final game of the night, we're playing a rather standard team. So we're playing Tatsugiri, Orange, Dondozo, Armarouge, Sylveon, Hydreigon, and Meowscarada. So I know for a fact that Masquerade does run Trick Room, and I think it does actually on this specific team even. I know that Sylveon's probably, so this is definitely a weak armor Armarouge. It's probably some sort of weakness policy set, but I'm not 100% sure. For my lead, I think that I definitely want to lead off with Murkrow Hydra. I think Murkrow Hydra account is pretty decent, if nothing else. I could have merit with leading off with potentially Goth as well. I think that Goth might not be terrible. However, I'm not 100% sure if I actually want to lead off with Goth. This is interesting, because I feel like that Azu is a pretty decent matchup here. In fact, actually, I think I'm going to lead off with that. I'm going to lead off with Goth and Azumarill. I think that Azumarill realistically is such a good offensive matchup that I'm fine with doing this. And then I'm going to bring Murkrow in the back for sure. Actually, no, I'm going to bring Hydreigon Skelly in the back. I think Hydreigon Skelly is going to be a lot scarier ultimately. I could go with Breloom and Murkrow to be fair, but Hydreigon should prepare me a lot better for Armarouge, so I'll definitely take that. Regardless though, good luck and fun to my opponent, and let's try and go 2-1 for the day. I will say, I kind of wish this was if I do end up using this team again, I think I'm going to swap this to potentially the Assault Vest Hydreigon that we had a couple games ago. I think AV Hydreigon would have done a lot better, though I will say, to be fair, I know my clutch didn't have it on this particular build, and that's mostly because on the Fergraph build, that build had AV Azu actually, so it's probably why clutch just didn't swap it over. But for this particular version of the team, I think it would benefit a lot more. Now there, Meowscarada Sylveon is the lead. I think what I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to proceed to go for Imprison actually, and I'm going to go for Helping Hand. I don't want them necessarily gaining a speed advantage here, and I think that they're totally just going to Trick Room. They're going to click Flower Trick actually. Okay, so that's probably just going to Oko Azu. Fun. Really thought they were going to click Trick Room and try and swim with Sylveon. So that's really bad for us. That's super bad for us. Oh my god. I really choked that lead. I should have probably Terra'd Azu, but okay. So, fuck. What do I even do here? So I'm gonna definitely go for. I think I need to go into Hydreigon. Yeah, I need to go for Hydreigon. And I'm gonna proceed to go for the Terastal. I need to go for Terastal. Oh, you know what? We're Terastal Fire. This I just realized. I don't know why I thought we were Terastal Steel. We're Terastal Fire in this build. Well, it's still honestly really beneficial here, to be fair. I can go for Terastal Fire on Hydreigon, and I can just go for the Flamethrower into the... Oh, no, this one is Steel. This one's definitely Steel. Okay. Well, regardless, though... Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm checking the AV set. Okay. Well, I'm going to go for the Terastal Steel regardless and go for the Flamethrower. That's another thing. This one probably should have been Fire. But again, one of those things I could have probably checked over, to be fair, before getting the team set up. So it's 100% on me. Okay. So this is why this is the other version of the team. The Fergraph version next week should be a little more refined, to be fair. But I wanted to show off Goth. And I think that, to be fair, the Goth team in hindsight does fine as a concept. I just think that this particular matchup for it wasn't great. They're going to go for Terra Fairy on Sylveon, which is fine. If they're Trick Room, they can't click it, actually, as long as Goth is alive, which is good for us. We're going to get the Helping Hand boost off, and the Flamethrower should still do a good amount of damage to Sylveon, if nothing else. They're going to proceed to go for Knockoff on Gothitelle. That's fine. I don't entirely mind. It's a little annoying because I guess they do gain Trick Room access back now, but it's not really the end of the world. They're going to probably just go for a Yawn on Sylveon, if I had to guess, or Hyper Voice here. I don't really know which, in all honesty. They're going to go for Hyper Voice. Okay. So this is fine. We're going to still have Skelly in the back, which Skelly should still be decent, albeit Knockoff from Meowscarada, to be fair, will still be pretty terrifying, to say the least. Okay. So I need to figure out how the fuck I want to manage this. Because their Throat Spray Sylveon activated. I think that I'm going to have to just dual attack Sylveon. I think realistically it's my only actual out here. Because I need to basically make sure that I can take out this fucking Pokemon. Because last time I had the Helping Hand boost from Goth too. That's the only reason I even did that much. If I had Flash Cannon here, I think it would have been great. Or if I had Terra Fire, I think it would have been great. Would have made a huge difference. But again, on me for not being more thorough with checking through my team. But we're gonna dual target Sylveon regardless. I think we might still be able to take this out, to be fair. Skelly, despite not being an offensive set, still should do some decent offensive damage. So we're gonna kind of just hope that we can take this one out before we lose the game on lead. And no, it looks like we're gonna lose the game on lead. A very unfortunate way to end off for the night, but you know what? Sometimes these games just happen, to be fair. I played this really fucking poor, and I think I could have let off with something a little more offensive. Though I think I got a little too comfortable with the potential for Jindozo Giri as a lead. Which even then, I guess, in hindsight, why would I have brought Goth Azu to that? I should have 100% led off with probably. I'm trying to think of what I would have led. I think in hindsight, leading off with Murkrow Skelly and going for the Terra Fairy, I think would have been my best interest. Because they don't have a great option for Terra Fairy Skelly outside of Terra Steel Hydra. I think that would have probably been my best play, to be honest. But that's 100% my fault, to be fair. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those. Sorry for ending off on a rather depressing loss. But team will be down below if you guys want to try it yourselves. As I said, this is, to be fair, a little bit of an unpolished version. But we'll hopefully get a little bit more of a refined version for next week's version of the team. If you guys enjoy this and you want to see more, leave a like and subscribe. Shout out to our channel members, of course, being Josh K Ultra Player, Mia, Zeke Zero, Matt O'Shea, and Nox Nocturnal. Your guys' support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to check out some bonus content that we do every Wednesday for channel members, click the link down below to join, as well as to Twitter and Discord to stay up to date on future content. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Until then, peace out, guys.